Hello everyone, Julia Sheehan here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Today I'd like to do this card with you. It's a very simple, easy Easter card to do. It is obviously a religious card. I find in my family there are some people who really appreciate religious cards, and then there's others that don't really go for that type of card. And so I like to do a cross section of Easter cards, and this particular one I wanted to make simple. I wanted it to be out of the wood textures so that it looks like the wooden cross, and I didn't want it to be frilly and flary. I just wanted it to be nicely simple and understated. And the inside, again, it's not overdone. It just has a little bit in there. So this is the card that I'm doing. So what we need for it is a piece of rich razzleberry, 5 7/8 of an inch by 8 1/4 inches, scored and folded and scored first, in half. Then we need a piece of very vanilla, measuring 5 6/8 of an inch by 4 inches. We need a piece of the Wood Textures DSP, the same size, 5 6/8 of an inch by 4 inches. We also need another small piece of the same wood texture DSP to cut the cross out of, which I've already done, so that we're a bit of a step ahead there. And we need some sparkle glimmer paper, which is approximately 4 inches by 3 inches, and then we cut the oval out of that. And again, I've already done that to save some time. Then we need a piece of very vanilla, 1 5/8 of an inch by 9 16ths of an inch, and a piece of rich razzleberry, 1 6/8 of an inch by 5/8 of an inch, and pretty much that's it. Then I'm using this stamp set, His Grace, and I'm using May His Precious Gift Be Yours and He Is Risen, and this flower here, just that one there, just a nice simple one. I also used for the cross, well, I've just got to find where I put it, but it's from the other stamp set. Just hang on a sec. Yes, it's the stamp set Hold On to Hope, and I'm using the framelits from that, and I'm just using this one from that there. So that's that, and then of course the Wood Textures DSP paper, which I have various ones of still. Okay, so first up, just make sure that you've folded and scored that. Just pop that aside, and we'll do the inside of the card first, and that's going to require this stamp and some rich razzleberry ink, which is right here. Just making sure I've got it up the right way, and hopefully I'll get it straight. That's not too bad. And then I need the flower. Just going to pop that on there, and I'm going to do that in the Memento Black, because I'm going to colour this. So that's going to go there. And there. I missed just a little bit of that one, but hopefully when I've coloured it you won't notice so much, and I can possibly go over it with a black pen. Okay, so I'm also going to do that on here. Now I'm just going to pop the oval just lightly on there. I just want to make sure that I leave enough room for that. Sorry, I just need to bring it down a little bit so I can see where I'm at. Okay, that should work there. So, one there. And I'm not having a good night. I just did that in rich razzleberry. I don't suppose it really matters to any great extent, but I'll do the other one in the black. I don't think you'll really notice that much, hopefully, when it's all coloured. It's been a very long night. I've been busily racing around doing everything, as I have my daughter and her fiance visiting for the weekend. So, had lots to do. Now, what we're going to do is, I'm using rich razzleberry again for this, and something I mentioned on Facebook when I was doing this, I really like the brush end of these Stampin' Blends for colouring. So I'm doing it a little bit quickly tonight, but I'm just going to go around that later with a bit of black ink. I think the tips actually work better than the other end of this. I like the control of the brush tip better. I mean, it's all up to you, but I just find it works better. And then I'm using the darker one, and I'm just going to just put some sort of shadowing toward the bottom of that flower there, and the same on this one. Half my problem is that I don't have my glasses on, and I really should. I'm at that midway. Some of you might relate to that midway point where you need them and you don't need them, and then when you put them on, everything's blurred. So it's very frustrating. Okay, now I'm just going to use shaded spruce for the leaves. I'm using the dark on the lower side of the leaf, and I'll be using the lighter on the other side. And I use the light and the dark rich razzleberry there too. There we go. And the same on these. I don't usually like taking up all the time colouring, but there's not a lot to do on these. I usually like to have something ready, but I just truly did not have the time. I've already done a Facebook Live tonight, and in between cleaning the house and everything in preparation. My daughter turns 30 this weekend, and for those of you in Australia, she was the one who lost their house in the Townsville floods a month or so ago. Probably a bit more than a month now. Probably 2. But it is getting redone. It's going to take a long time though, because there's thousands of people that have had to find alternate accommodation because their homes are destroyed. Terribly sad for all those people involved. It was devastating that they actually showed a picture of my daughter's house on the news, and yeah, very hard to see it like that. Okay, now we're going to pop it onto the card. Just a bit of Tombow on there. There we go. One on the front, one inside. I know my mother will appreciate this card. She's not a frilly person. She's likes things like this that are just succinct, so to speak. There we are. I think it looks lovely on the rich Razzleberry too. It's really nice. Okay, now dimensionals for our oval. There we go. One in the middle. And then just centering that. Just making sure I get it reasonably well centered. There we go. Just press that down where you know you've put your dimensionals. And then same for the cross. I'm going to put dimensionals on there. It's a really good width for dimensionals, this cross. I really love this cross being wooden, the wooden look. I think it looks nice. Easter's going to be on us before we know it too. It's come around very fast. I can't believe it's April already. There we go. And then just going to sit that on there. It's pretty good. And just make sure your dimensionals adhere to that glimmer paper. Okay, now just for our sentiment, which is floating around here somewhere. And there it is. I'm going to use rich Razzleberry for this one. The thing I like about this too is that it only uses one ink pad plus your basic black. But let's see if I can get this straight. Yep, that'll do. And I think, you know, like especially if you're starting off, it's a good card because you don't need a lot of product to be able to do something like this. So I think that's really good too. You know, like sometimes I think people might watch and think, oh, I haven't got all that stuff. So when we can do a card that doesn't use a lot of stuff, I think that's good. I'm just going to pop that on there. There's that lovely wiggle room we get when we use Tombow. Had a lot of debate over this today, with myself first off, which is a little alarming, but also I was talking to some of the ladies on Facebook, and I had tried it here, there, but I actually find that the only place I feel really comfortable with this sentiment is right there. Comment below if you agree or if you disagree. Where would you put it? But that's what I came up with. We had a good discussion on that, so there we are. And then once we've done that, I'm just going to sit that on there. I like to leave a little bit of the wood grain paper showing. I'll just bring that up so you can see just along the edge there. You can see that there's still the, I like to sit it in a bit. And that's it. That's the card. Doesn't take very long to do. Nice, simple, easy card, but I think it looks really nice and makes a lovely Easter card for someone who is religious and would prefer this to, I don't know, an Easter bunny or an egg or something. Okay, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. There's lots of videos on there now. There's probably nearly 40 that I've done. And just leave a comment. Tell me what you would have done differently, or if there's anything you would like me to do, and that'd be appreciated. But yeah, just subscribe, hit the notifications button, and I'll see you next week and we'll do something different again. Okay, have a lovely week everyone. Bye for now.